Hi everyone and welcome to the learning curve. In this video I'll be looking at some interesting questions in angles with parallel lines. These topics are relevant for students studying geometry in high school as well as for pre-algebra preparations for students preparing for their SBAC examinations. Here we are told to determine the measure of the unknown angles. And we have here two parallel lines which are cut by this transversal. So here are the two parallel lines, and this is the transversal line that cuts these two parallel lines. So here we realize that this angle, 34 degrees, and this angle, x degrees, form what we call linear pairs. These are linear pairs because these two angles lie on a straight line which forms half of a circle. If I were to go right around here, you'd realize that this is a half of a circle. The full circle would be around here. This forms half of a circle. Angles on a straight line which form half of a circle in this way are called linear pairs. Linear pairs add to 180 degrees. So this means that 34 degrees plus x degrees, which are linear pairs, must add to 180 degrees. So this can be easily found, the missing angle x can be easily found here by saying 34 plus x is equal to 180, and we're going to simply just transpose for x because again these two angles are linear pairs because they form half of a circle. They are two angles that are cut by a line and they lie on a straight line. So to solve for angle x here, we're going to subtract 34 from both sides of the equation because 34 is added to x. We will do the inverse of addition of 34, which is subtraction of 34. And what we do to one side of an equation, we'll do to the other side as well. So I'll minus 34 from both sides of the equation. The aim here is to get x on its own. This will be gone, and I'm left with x equal 180 take away 34. And that will give us our answer, 180 take away 34. So essentially what we did here was to apply a very common geometric principle, which is that angles on a straight line form linear pairs and therefore add to 180 degrees. So this is 146 degrees. That's the missing angle, angle x. Now let's look at B. In B, angle x here and angle x plus 100 degrees also form linear pairs. This is because they are angles on a straight line. So these two angles on a straight line forming half of a circle, they make up a linear pair. And as I said before, linear pairs add to 180 degrees. So this means that angle x, the measurement of angle x, plus the measurement of angle x plus 100 must give us the total of 180 degrees. So we will simplify here and then we will solve for x. So x plus x is going to give me 2x. So I'm going to have 2x plus 100 is going to be equal to 180. So 2x plus 100 is equal to 180 because x plus x is 2x. So now we need to get x on its own. So we realize first of all that there's a 100 that is added to the x term. So we need to get rid of that 100 that is added to the x term by doing the inverse of addition, and the inverse of addition is subtraction. So I'll subtract 100 from the left side of the equation to get rid of this 100 that is added to the x term. But what you do to one side of the equation, you also do to the other side. So this allows us to get rid of the 100 on both sides of the equation, 100 on the left side of the equation, and we'll subtract 100 from the right side as well. So 100 minus 100 here is 0, so this will be gone. And I'd just be left with 2x on the left-hand side of the equation. And 2x is going to be equal to 180. Take away 100, which is going to be 80. So what this is saying now is that 2x means 2 multiplied by x. So what this is saying is 2 multiplied by a number x will give us 80. So what number multiplied by 2 will give us 80? We know that answer is going to be 40. But the formal way to get it is to realize that x is multiplied by 2 and we want to get x on its own. So we do the inverse of multiplication, which is division. So we say 2x divided by 2 would be equal to 80, also divided by 2. So 2 cancels 2 here, leaving us with x, because 2 divides into itself once. So x would therefore be equal to 80 upon 2, which is equal to 40. So since x is equal to 40, we can now realize that yes, we have found x. X is 40 degrees. And if you were to resubstitute that 40 here, you'd realize we'd get 40 on this side, 40 degrees. And 40 plus 100 would give us 180 degrees. So the answer here is indeed 40 degrees. All right, so nice, short, and spicy. Application of angles, computation of angles when we have two parallel lines that are cut by a transversal. Look out for part 2. In part 2, we'll be doing these questions. We will be asked to find the missing angle x. These are a little bit more complex, very interesting questions. I look forward to you joining me for a continuation of this lesson series. Thank you. See you soon. Remember to like, share, and subscribe as you continue this journey in the learning and mastery of all things mathematics.